Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you for joining us for the 2011 Veterans Day ceremony at the University of Washington. My name is Colonel Paul Gruber, and I'll be serving as your MC this morning. I extend a warm welcome to all of you and to all of our guests today. I would also like to recognize attending flag officers, commanders, retired military members, and university officials, and especially our veterans. Welcome. We come together on this Veterans Day to remember and to honor the commitment to service that unites Friends of the University of Washington with the men and women who have served in our armed forces. How fitting that we stand before this memorial sculpture that honors Medal of Honor recipients and is inscribed with the following words: ordinary individuals facing extraordinary circumstances with courage and selflessness answer the call and change the course of destiny. It certainly holds true for Medal of Honor recipients as it does for all men and women. Please stand as the University of Washington ROTC Color Guard carries out the presentation of the colors. Mr. Hodgins, fellow service members, cadets, faculty, and students, and especially our veterans and our family members. I'm humbled by your patriotism and your service and honored you would allow me to share a few of my thoughts this morning. You know, though no one has ever accused a fighter pilot like me of being especially virtuous, I come by my perspectives of what it means to be a veteran honestly. In World War II, my Uncle Norm flew the P-40, the P-51, and the P-38 and taught hundreds of new pilots how to shoot straight. Uncle Ted flew Hellcats and Corsairs for the Navy and scored 3 aerial victories in the Pacific. My wife's dad, Albert, escaped the Nazis and the communists to end up serving America's Air Force just about everywhere in the world. And big cousin Danny was a helicopter door gunner in Vietnam who rescued hundreds of airmen and soldiers was shot down 5 times and lives with his demons today. I heard their stories, but when my father reached deeply into a wartime past he'd tried for decades to forget, the lessons finally stuck. I learned on his knee about the sacrifices and lessons of service. I learned that not a single one of his World War II Marine buddies survived Guam or Bougainville. Not one. I learned how he and his fellow Marines persevered and fought on despite malaria, dysentery, and an appalling lack of supplies and ammunition. I learned the hard way why he didn't tolerate whining. I learned why he spent his life focused on the objective, just as he'd done when he charged the machine gun nest and earned an impressive scar for his trouble. And most importantly, I learned the freedom his sacrifices earned were worth it. I learned, but honestly I didn't really understand until I lived it myself. It wasn't until I passed through that very long night before my first combat mission that I understood. It wasn't until the next day in the skies over that barren country, going back again and again into the teeth of that endless supply of surface-to-air missiles and 57mm anti-aircraft artillery, that I understood. It wasn't until I saw the empty helmet holder for Tom Popeye Doyle when he didn't come back from his training mission that I understood. It wasn't until my little girl Kirsten, my princess, and my wonderful boy Eric, both University of Washington students today, crawled under the covers with us, squeezing shut the brilliant blue eyes their mother gave them, hoping it was just a bad dream that Dad was going to war, that I understood. It wasn't until I heard my wife Karen go tearfully speechless for the first time in her beautiful life, when I told her on that crackly overseas phone call that I'd flown my last mission and that I was coming home, that I understood. And it wasn't until I watched my pilots study the intelligence products and plot ways to draw the missiles away from themselves and their wingmen and toward themselves that I understood. These are the moments that define our service. They bond us as warriors when we know we risk everything good to serve you. And we know in our DNA we take a missile up the tailpipe or a bullet to the chest before we let our squadron mates get shot. These are the moments when it makes horrible, tragic sense to hear about a Medal of Honor awarded posthumously to a young kid for diving on a grenade to save his squad. These are the moments we never, ever forget, way down deep in that place that never goes dark. And these are the brushstrokes we use to color and frame a brilliantly personal portrait of what it means to serve. For me, they form a simple phrase. We serve all of you, but when it comes right down to it, we fight for our buddies. Everyone knows that combat can kill you, but far more than the fear of pain or death, we were most afraid of making an irrecoverable split-second mistake that would cost a wingman his or her life. If, under brutal enemy fire or G-forces in the most intense Super Bowl moments of anybody's life, I dispensed chaff instead of flares from my F-16, or accidentally turned off the jamming pod, or forgot to arm the missiles and needed that one precious second of lost time to shoot the MiG before he could shoot my wingman, I knew I would gladly offer my life to get that moment back. How do you face your buddies or your lost wingman's family knowing your mistake cost his or her life? You can't. So you train harder than you thought possible so you never, ever let your team down. For your Air and Army National Guardsmen, it goes even deeper. We bring this priceless bond between ourselves and with our nation home from overseas to protect you in the homeland as well. From filling sandbags to defending our skies to overcoming the horrific effects of natural or man-made disasters, your guardsmen and women serve every community in America. For we are your community, your neighbors, your friends, your brothers, your sisters. And you know what's even more cool than all of that? You don't have to wear the uniform to be cut from the same tightly woven cloth of commitment to your fellow man. At the University of Washington, your world-class faculty collaborates with teammates across campus and across the world with commitment and passion to each other in the pursuit of expanding what mankind knows, and you make all our lives better for it. In those moments when you find in some incredible way to serve all of us in the same deeply personal way veterans have served, you and each other for centuries, you will be one of us. Of this crowd today, my dad would be so proud. Thank you.